Oh, hello there! And welcome, I guess, to the road to Octopath Traveler. So, I uploaded a video 7 days ago announcing a project about the super cool game Octopath Traveler. No, just kidding, I'm actually super in love with this game. After I uploaded this video to YouTube, I thought it would be a good idea to post it somewhere fitting, like the Octopath Traveler subreddit, for example. And oh boy, that went out of hand. So if you look here, basically all of my videos just got about 20 views. This one got 10 views, 10 to 20 views maybe, which is fitting to my subscriber count, I guess. They actually got more since I uploaded the video. Don't count that video though. I uploaded that when Odyssey just came out and Halloween was just over, so of course that gets some clicks. But if you now come over to this video, thank you, of course, all of you, for the unexpectedly positive feedback that I got. And there were not only comments that were like,
"Oh, that shit pretty good,"
or
"You can delete yourself,"
which actually didn't happen at all, at least at the time I'm recording this. But I mostly got comments that were trying to correct me or asked some questions about the project, which I really appreciated. Also shoutouts to GP007, I guess. You said under the original post that this was coming out on your birthday, and I'm usually a kind guy, so happy birthday, I guess. But okay, I don't want to spend too much time thanking you guys, so I'll just leave it at that point, because I promised to deliver something. And some of you seemed really pumped to this, so I don't want to disappoint you. One last thing I have to mention. I want to put a quick disclaimer that this video may not be produced with the amount of effort that the following ones will be, because of two reasons. Well, first, on the day this comes out, I will have my last exam, hopefully ever, well, until I go to university, of course, or something like that. So I'd rather spend the last days before that learning for that exam, because I don't want to fail school. Hey, it's me from the future here. I passed the exam, I think. So yeah, I really think it was the right way to risk to disappoint you with that kind of low effort video, guys. And yeah, I'm really sorry again, but yeah, just that in short. Enjoyed the video. But after that, I'm going to have plenty of time for you guys. And the second reason is that I want to show a bit of improvement over the 8 weeks, so the quality is not going to fall, but rather raise. So after this big introduction that probably already took half of the video, I don't know, I'm sorry for that, I actually gotta do something, huh? Phew. There are now people expecting me to do something they will like. Oof. Yeah. Not gonna do that. I will do what I like, and I like Octopath Traveler. So as I said, I'm actually going to hold the ball flat for this one, so I guess, what can I do as a video? Oh, top 10! Okay, guess I'm gonna do that then. I mean, it really doesn't take a lot of effort, and at the very least I get to tell you guys my opinion before I play the game. Like every other game review channel most likely did by now. No hate to the people who do a good job at this though. Shoutouts to Nathaniel makes good top 10 videos, Bandy. So this will be a top 10 video then. I'll make it the
Top 10 things that I want to see in Octopath Traveler.
in no particular order. So this is basically just some basic ass video that would get lost in the crowd. And will. Because it's nothing special. Also, it is basically far too late for it now because the game is basically already done and none of the developers would have seen this anyway. Yeah, let's just start, okay? Number 10. So, the first thing I want to see in Octopath Traveler are some good as cameo. So, you know the game Super Mario RPG. The Legend of the Seven Stars. This game had some really nice cameo. This game was, as the name said, a Mario game. But in the game you could find other characters like Link from the Legend of Zelda series or Samus from the Metroid. And if you now look who made this game, oh yeah, Square Enix. So Square, you know how to do this, and why don't you give us some good cameos in Octopath Traveler too? They don't have to be that obvious, like, hey, there's a plumber called Mario that's walking on the street and, I don't know, maybe you can battle him or whatever. Nah, it doesn't have to be like this. It's enough if you just make some slight hints at who this could be. Maybe like in the Legend of Zelda series, you also have Malon and Talon, and also their helper guy, I don't know his name right now, and they are basically, at least Talon is resembling Mario in a way, and their helper is resembling Waluigi in a way, something like this. Also their necklace resembles, yeah, some think it's just a cow. I also would think it's just a cow, but some people see Bowser in this, so yeah. Square, make something like that for Octopath Traveler, please. Yeah, I'm getting other ideas right here. This really is harder than I thought. There isn't really much to wish after the demo and trailers, so I guess I will just name a few more features that I think would be nice and that I generally like to have in my games. And explain how it could work, I guess. Number 9. So, the second thing I would like in Octopath Traveler is some kind of a challenge. You know, there is bound to be some players who will make challenges about the game, like don't use that item or don't use that attack, or generally some restrictions like they do in the Pokemon games. So why is it such a bad idea that the game itself builds such things already in? You see how fan games like Pokemon Uranium, for example, builds in a Nuzlocke mode in the game itself, which basically just resembles the Nuzlocke challenge, but it's built in the game, so everything you have to do in the Nuzlocke challenge, like releasing a Pokemon after its death or so, the game does that for you, and I would really enjoy to see that in this game as well. And while we're at it, I also would enjoy a few other game modes, for example game modes that chain core game mechanics, like one game mode where you have infinite boost. I know that would be kind of OP and the game would be pretty boring this way and it would kind of support all the noobs, but what if you just unlock these game modes if you did a complete playthrough or something like that, and then you don't have access to this at your first playthrough anymore? It's not that hard to go around. I'm going to come back later to this, how you could implement this in the game very well, so that it is interesting to play in these game modes. So summarize, I would just like to see some options when you start a new playthrough, where you have a list of different game expanding mechanics or options that you can tick or untick if you want, and you can combine these to create all sorts of different play experiences.
Number 8.
I would like to see a multiplayer mode in this game. I know a lot of strategy games, but one thing just a few of them have is a multiplayer mode. A good multiplayer mode. Yeah, not every strategic game should have a multiplayer mode. Octopath Traveler could be like that, I guess. I would enjoy just some bonus missions that you could play in co-op with a friend. For example, your friend brings his setup of characters he made, his playthrough, and you can play a few missions together where you have two characters who walk over the map. Yeah, you also could make a versus mode. I don't know how this really could work out, because I don't know how much customization this game lets you do with characters. How much different your characters can get while doing several playthroughs. But I will get to this point later. So if there will be enough customization to have plenty of different options to play with your characters, so that your character is different enough from one on your friend's game, this could be very funny. Also, games played with friends are generally better than games played alone, in my opinion. So with the number 7 spot, I got some mini-games. I want to see some mini-games in this game. What do I see as mini-games? Of course, I guess there will be some side quests and some mini-missions. But what I mean with minigames are little play-around that use completely different game mechanics than the core game, where they recreated Pong, for example, and you on the left side have one of your characters and you have to steer it around with your control stick up and down to hit the ball played by the opponent. And this also could work as multiplayer, I guess, some of these minigames. Now, Pong is a very bad example on how you could do this, but I didn't actually have that much time to think of some greater examples, so I hope you are already satisfied with that. Just some minigames that use completely different mechanics and just spice up your playthrough a bit with just showing something different. The thing they did in Mario Odyssey with the jump rope challenge or the volleyball challenge. Yeah, they were fun, I guess, and they were challenging, but they were much more grinding and also not that much of a mini game, because you really much use your core gameplay mechanics, which can be good game design if you want to do that, because your core game mechanics will be the things that the player has mastered the most by the time they get at this point. So do with this information what you want. I just want to see some mini games that spice up my playthrough.
Extra dip.
Number 6 is something I would really enjoy to see in the game, and this is not that much of a thing I want to explain very much, because it just doesn't need that much explanation. So I am a real big fan of the Professor Layton series, and I am a really big fan of anime, kind of. So just apart from the really awesome game mechanics and story, just everything that Professor Layton has to offer, these games usually have really nicely made animated film sequences. I want in Octopath Traveler animated sequences, and this wouldn't be that hard to do. I want to see, at least for an intro sequence or the end when the game is over, I want to see an animated sequence where all my heroes are animated as they are in the artwork, fully fleshed out. I just want to see that going together with the awesome soundtrack the game already has to offer. So, number 5. I want to see a collectible you can find in the game to be music. I really enjoyed this one, what they did with the Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga remake, and much more in Ahead in Time, where you could find different music tracks. And you could not do that in Mario & Luigi, but you could do that in Ahead in Time. You could find different music tracks that were remixes of the original, and you could change in-game that these remixes would play at their respective places instead of the original track. And I really enjoyed that, because it really gave you the sense of a treat the game gave you. So it's not a cosmetic. You had the original soundtrack that was already great, and then you had a remix. Really enjoy that. And Although I really enjoy and am totally in love with the soundtrack that Octopath Traveler already has, I really would enjoy an option like this to be in the game. I want to see in the game some roguelike dungeons. So you know the gaming genre of a roguelike. I personally really like that gaming genre. So a roguelike is basically a game where you go through randomly generated dungeons. That is basically the only thing that roguelikes have. It's all randomly generated, and every time you start a new run, you start with completely different items and you don't carry over things you did in another run. All you carry over is, I don't know, unlocked things. Although I don't want to see that you don't carry over your items between these dungeons. I want to see some dungeons in the game that aren't like the normal, like the sewers you had, the primrose demo. Some dungeons that look like this but are randomly generated. You know Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valencia? This game had dungeons that were completely different from the normal Fire Emblem game. This did really surprise me, and I want to see something like this in the game Octopath Traveler as well. Unlike Fire Emblem Echoes, I want to see it be randomly generated, so you have a different experience every time you go in there. -1. I want to see a decent after game, after the main story. I personally don't like in games when you have this thing where you beat the end boss and then the game just travels back in time basically to before you beat the end boss and the world is still in danger. That happens very often in many games, also happens in Professor Layton game. I personally don't like that. I like it more when it is like in the Pokemon games, where after you beat the game, the world stays safe and you can see all those happy people who are grateful for you saving them. So I don't know how well you could implement this in Octopath Traveler, because we don't know the lore of that game yet, what the overall threat is and how much you can save the world from this. But I guess it is possible, and so my idea is possible too. Just want to see an after game where the world stays safe from that overall threat and you just have a few additional side quests that you can do after the story. I would just personally enjoy to see that. So, at the spot before the last one, as I already said, I would want in my game a lot of customization. We don't know how much customization the game will have and how different your characters can get between several playthroughs. What we already know is that you can combine the jobs of multiple characters into one. So one character can have his main job and also a secondary job. We already saw this. But we don't know how much customization we have in terms of the skill pool of the character. So I guess most of the skills, most of the attacks a character can do inside a battle are depending on the kinds of weapon the character carries at that time. But I want to see some customization where you have at certain levels you learn a skill and you have to decide between 2 or more different skills you want to learn and you want to level up. So not that much like Pokemon, where you just learn skills over different levels and you have to decide between 4 of them, but more than in a game like Deep.io, where you have your tank and when you level up you have 2 branches that you can evolve into. So I want to see the customization in a way like this. I also want to see some customizations in the amounts of armor and gear you can equip, but I think that is already in the game, so you can decide on which stats you want to focus on your character. And maybe you can even have a house in the game that you can customize with different furniture, but I think that is too much of a wish to be true. I don't really think that would fit in the game.
On the number 1 spot, I want a deeply explained lore, but with room for interpretation. This point is most probably already in the game. I know Square, not personally, but I know Square and the games they do. They very often have a very deep lore in the games that the fandom can make theories about. But the way I want the lore implemented is that most of the lore you can have in the game, explained through the 8 different stories if you follow the character stories like they announced you can. So most of the lore can be explained in game and maybe told by few NPCs, and the fans can make theories about that. But some lore elements I also want to be explained in some collectibles, like collectible plates or book pages you can find in the game, where there is written some stuff about the history of that world, and so that explains something about the lore. I don't really want to see that these pages you can find just at some places inside the game, but the real number 1 spot, consider it's place number 0. So the real number 1 spot, I want achievements that give you the feeling that you accomplished something important, and lore is a good way to treat the player for doing those achievements. So I want to have achievements in the game that you can access through the main screen, but you don't see what the achievements are, you only see how much you are left to do, and this is seeable through the amount of pages you didn't collect so far. So, as you may combine of that, I want these achievements to unlock the lore pages. And you can also combine these with the game modes, so that some achievements are like complete the game without a game over, but other achievements are like complete the game in that game mode, and in this game mode there are no healing items or something like that. So I think these 2 points, so the different game modes and the lore unlocked through the achievements, those would some things that would spice up the core gameplay the most.
Phew! That was actually hard to come up with enough things, but I think for the amount of time I had, it's at least half decent, I guess. So wait. Before you angrily type in the comments,
Oh, you forgot number 8.
no, I did not forget that. Did you actually go back and look? Here, I put a time code, watch it and look for yourself. I did not forget that. But now that I have your attention, you know how the number 8 is like a magic number in this project, you know, because of octo means 8 in Greek. That's really clever. It also means 8 in Latin. Double clever. Bet you didn't think of that one, Square Enix. Yeah, I'm funny. But I actually want to know from you, what do you want to see in the game? Take this as the number 8. And more importantly, what do you want to see in this project? Because I'm uncreative with this. So leave a comment, either here on YouTube or on the Reddit post that this will probably available through. But I don't know how it's allowed for me to repost my videos on Reddit and farm views through this item. So subscribe, I guess, so you aren't left for me posting all of my videos here on Reddit. Hey, I had to put it in there somewhere. I still have to test this out. This was actually the first time my videos got noticed by such a major audience. So see this more like a pilot episode. Also, this was the first time for me actually to read from a script, if you didn't notice. And as I said, I really hope next week I can spend more time than just a few hours that I had to make this video. So yeah, this was the first round. There are only 7 more weeks left. Time's flying. So I hope at least some of you had fun watching this. I sure as hell had while making this. And I hope to see you soon in the next episode. Bye! So I'm just gonna get out now. Yeah. Oh yeah, a few days ago they released a new trailer for Octopath Traveler explaining a few things. I'm gonna do a reaction and discussion video for this outside of the project, I guess, because, yeah. So look forward to that. Bye bye. Phew. So I just finished cutting this project. So yeah, it is not really that much of a hassle, but I guess for a top 10 video it is a lot more effort than I thought and than anyone would think. But yeah, maybe I also did a bit too much to myself. So what I mean by this is that I maybe did some things that I didn't actually have to do, but yeah, there are also a lot of flaws. The video is by far not perfect, but as you can see, it is already dark. Because of that, I have my light. You can't really see it, but it's dark outside. Believe me or not. And I just was really desperate to upload this video before the day ends, so I put all of my time I had after coming back from the exam into this video. So the last days I spent planning this video. I wrote the script 2 days ago and filmed all the things and recorded everything yesterday. But to be honest, I was already pretty pretty down by the fact I learned for the exam, and yeah, I didn't actually realize, but the recordings were really bad. But when I came back from the exam, it was way too late to record everything new. So I had to take what I had, and I made the best out of it I could. I really tried to make the video also as short as I could. As you can see, the video is nearly half an hour long now, but if I would have uploaded just the voice section where I do the top 10, if I would have uploaded that uncut, that would be over an hour that this video would go. That should not go longer than 10 minutes, but yeah. You know, in this video I actually have apologized enough for that, but don't get scared by the fact how low effort and strange this video may have been. The next videos will definitely be much more structured, much more edited, and generally better. Also better audio quality, I hope. And yeah, there are also, for the flaws in the video, you don't have to actually write them in the comments. I know what I have done wrong, and I will go on about that maybe in a future video. I don't know, in an episode of Road to Octopath Traveler, but more likely just a random episode of something. So yeah, that's a really bye-bye. That was my short creator's commentary. I guess I will put that at the end of every video shortly, but yeah. Especially at the later projects. It would be much more interesting to see the project and the editing. So, goodbye. Roll the end card. I am going to sleep now.